Do we got some audio? Are we live?
We do now. We do now. But they got to see the Terminator dive come out in the alley there, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
fun.
Well,
Yeah, we're running hot tonight, man.
yeah, we
Everything's
are.
lagging. So had a big afternoon show, Martin Luther King celebration. Can everybody hear me? Hey, Cheeseman, Julie, Dango. Hey y'all, Dango. And we got serious. Brent McKinney dropped us a 20 over on the Natural Progressive. Damn it, Brent. It's
Wow,
COVID,
Brent.
man.
It's
Hey,
COVID.
cool. Super
We
chat.
appreciate it so much.
Yeah, Brent. We do appreciate that so much. Cirrus and God, who else do we got? I know it's been a hell of a day. Thank you. Brent McKinney. Hey, cool. You can get super chats. Yes, we can on the Natural Progressive, and they
Yeah,
do go to us, but don't spend all your money here, there, Brent. You know, it's tight times, and we do
it
appreciate it,
is.
though, for
We
sure.
know
How you feeling there, Shanda?
Still dealing with the inner ear thing, which is making me dizzy and kind of, list to the left and walk into walls.
Well, you wear it well. You wear it
Thank
very
you.
well.
I
So
just I just blame it on my blonde hair. Like, oh.
yeah, I know. I blame everything on my hair too. So
I know. I know.
lack thereof. So, oh
We
God.
had an amazing weekend. Oh my gosh, did you see it? I get to go out and hang out with Pasta and do a morning coffee talk. It was the Shasta, I think is what they're calling
The
it, the
Shasta
Shanda
show.
Pasta Hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they gave you a hell of a plug today, and Roar, and they even liked Oz kind of too, which was great. Thank you, our sister and brothers over the
Yes.
combo
They're
couch.
so no, they're so sweet and so kind to lift us up, not punch down like I see others in the movement doing.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that later.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
We
we will get
definitely
into
will.
that for sure. Yeah, and we had a little chat with Hardlands over there. You're going on hard.
Kit, yeah.
Yeah, Kit, you're
That
gonna.
was really cool. Yesterday morning, we got to hang out with Kit for a little while. And yeah, I get to go over there, I think, on the 4th, February 4th. I'm going to
February
be over
4th,
on
yeah.
Hardlands Media.
Yeah, that's great. And again, I want to say, and Roar Media, we are about elevating women, people of color, and identity as much as we can on the Roar Media platform. So if you are interested in joining our team, which is a team, it's not a hierarchical thing. We all work
Well,
together.
hell no.
But yeah, the ladies will be primarily people of color, and identity will be the face of Roar Media. It's not going to be old Oz. Oz likes behind the curtain, so I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that nobody's getting slighted over here. We all have our roles, and we take them seriously, unlike some other people. But we're going to do our best. So, Kit, you're going to be with Kit and Daniel on
Daniel, yeah.
the 4th of February. I think that's going to be a great show. Convo is having Whitney Webb on tomorrow, Jillian.
I know. I know. I'm so excited.
That is great. Whitney Webb threw some shade at somebody the other day. Who was that she was throwing some shade at?
I saw her throw shade at a couple of different
Couple
people,
of
it
different
seemed like.
people, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of Whitney Webb because I think she's on the right side of the issue. What do you think, Shanda?
Well, Whitney will find the receipts to back up anything she's saying. So
Hell yes.
no, do I want to be on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, you don't want to be because although we can mea culpa as well as the best, we don't want to get in that situation. But we will make errors, we will make mistakes, and we will make some of our chat upset from time to time. But keep talking to us because you know us by now. So I mean, really,
Right.
really, really, really. Here, I'm trying to. I have a severe lag in the studio, and a reboot might help it, but we're not going to reboot because
Yeah, no, I saw
show.
that. I saw we're lagging big time.
Yeah, and that's because Oz left the studio on all afternoon, and it was like baking
there you
cookies, so I can't do that. Let me see. Let me get my webcam in here, crop so I don't look so big. I look so
You just got
big.
issues.
Oh
huh?
my God! And
Well, and we had Pasta stop by Beauty and the Boomer on Saturday night. So not only did I get to go do a Convo Couch coffee talk that morning, but that night he came and hung out on Beauty and the Boomer.
yes, he did, and that was great to have him on.
Yeah, it was.
Holy smokes, man, I am just like chunking here. I got fuzzies and all that stuff.
You're kind of electric. Your hair
Yeah,
is kind of glowing in and out like a
it's
neon sign.
yeah, it's got that old 1960s, 1950s neon sign blink going on there. So, anyway, bear with us,
Hey, Book
everybody.
Hermit,
We
welcome.
have a slim show tonight, but we wanted to talk about it because this morning, Shanda and I both struck gold. We ran into a RT on contact with Chris Hedges and Glenn Greenwald, and it was terrific. So before we start, yeah, this was from yesterday, I think, the 16th. It was an
Yeah.
interview. And let's just roll right into it. These clips are a little longer, not horribly, but bear with us. We'll talk about it after we get this thing going. So here we
Hey,
go.
J9.
And we have no sound. Can you hear anything?
I hear sound.
Okay, so it's me who's screwed. But we have no sound going out. You got to be kidding me. Okay, let's try and start this over again. Let's see if I can find some sound here.
Definitely a Monday. You know, we get these gremlins in the studio, especially on a Monday, and with it all cranked up. You did a special today, so you're running hot because you guys did the Martin Luther King thing, right?
Yes. Tell me if you can hear some sound now.
Expect the same outcome.
I can hear it, but I could hear it
Middle class
before.
continues to
I
be
got it.
destroyed.
Okay.
Companies that have no allegiance to the United States that will take as many jobs as possible and ship them to places where they can pay slave labor will continue to do so. Communities will continue to be ravaged with unemployment crises, with drug addiction, with suicide, with depression, all the things that are dominating small American towns, rural towns, and increasingly even larger ones. And that anger and dissatisfaction is going to only continue to grow, so that when you have a smarter, more stable version of Donald Trump tapping into that populist anger, promising them to close the United States, to give them better lives, it's going to be even more appealing this time around.
Yep.
The Biden administration, especially through many of the appointees, has made it very clear that they look at the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, centered around Bernie Sanders, as the enemy. Many of the people that he's appointed openly ridicule Sanders and his supporters. What will that mean for the party, and what will that mean for progressives?
Well, it's such an interesting dynamic, really kind of a pathetic one to watch, because a major strategy of Joe Biden when he was running against Trump was to bash Bernie Sanders specifically in the left generally as often as he could, constantly ridiculing Trump for trying to link him to Bernie or AOC or Medicare for All or the Green New Deal by saying, I destroyed them, I crushed them. That's not me. You're confused about who I am. Joe Biden has always had contempt for the left. So did Barack Obama. But this contempt, oddly, the more blatant it becomes, the more open and kind of contemptuous it becomes, the more the left becomes almost more submissive than ever. I mean, I heard over the last year people not just tolerating, but praising Biden for distancing himself from Bernie on the grounds that it was a politically shrewd and wise thing to do. And even now that the election is over, there was no chance Bernie was going to be Secretary of Labor. He practically begged for it, and they came up with an excuse that it's better to leave him in the Senate. There, as Bernie himself said, there really are no progressives. You can maybe, if you expand that definition, count one or two minor cabinet posts that way, but certainly nobody associated with the Sanders movement, which became a dominant part of the Democratic Party in 2016 and 2020, is involved in this administration. And I see very little dissent on the part of the left, because they have bought into the overarching narrative that there are only two choices: unite behind the Democratic Party and fight fascism and Hitler, or succumb to fascism. It's kind of like the Bashar al-Assad strategy in Syria, which is to say, I know you hate me, but your only choice is to unite behind me or be ruled by ISIS. That's essentially the choice they're using. And with some exceptions on the left, it seems to be working. I think left-wing loyalty to the Democratic Party is higher than I've seen in a long.
Yeah. All right, Shanda, you go first.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So, okay, so when he says that, the Democrats, the liberals, the left are becoming more submissive under the Democratic Party and this narrative, absolutely. In 2016, I would always liken my time inside the Democrats as an abusive, battered woman relationship. And I could do that because I had spent my whole entire adult life being in abusive relationships. So I kind of recognize them now when I see them. And that's exactly what it was, do as we say, fall in line. You have no choice but to do what we are telling you you're going to do. And really, that's the stance of the left right now, and it's just becoming even more emboldened.
I see. Yes, Jilly. Stupid Jordan Sheraton accused Convocation.
I know we're going to go after.
We're going to go after that in a little bit, Jilly. Stick around because you might appreciate what we have to say. Yeah, in the end of that first clip, he's talking about we either got a shit sandwich or we get a shit sandwich. You have fascism with Trump, or we succumb to fascism. What these mass media institutions are doing now is they're enabling fascism by the so-called left, which isn't left, it's a center-right Democratic Party, okay? And they are enabling mass media to become the media fascists. So, people talk about fascism. Oh, we're losing our democracy and everything else. Other shows have talked about it. Well, what the hell? You're supporting it now because you're taking that whipped dog mentality. Oh my God, we have to do this. Crumbs from the table. Otherwise, we're going to have nothing. I don't believe that for 1 second, Shanda.
I got news for you. We got nothing. We're getting nothing, and they're not going to give us something.
They're not going to give you anything.
To even pretend that Biden is going to be this FDR type who's going to roll out all these amazing plans in the first 100 days. Bernie pretty much already said it's going to be whatever Joe wants, and we already know. He said he will veto any Medicare for all. Veto. Okay, well, that's off the table. He's rolled back his loan forgiveness for student loans. It was 50,000, then it was 10,000. And don't forget that Biden is the reason that you can't file bankruptcy on student loans. He was the architect of that freaking bill that said, no, you couldn't write these off ever. Yeah. They can never go away. Never. I've seen so many people crippled under that broken ass scam of a system. But yeah, if he said nothing's fundamentally going to change. So all these people that are hopelessly, hoping that tomorrow, the next day when Biden takes over, everything goes back to brunch and everything's going to be rosy. No.
It's the big club, baby, and we just have different masters this time around. Okay. Yep. And the big mistake is, and I'm even wondering if it's a mistake, they just want to keep doing this thing, just Groundhog Day with the Obama administration over and over again, then give it back to a worse than Trump, but along the same lines. So anyway.
Well, they're going to give it back to worse than Trump, and that's the fucking scary part, because the next one's going to be a capable, not a fake fascist. Trump's a faux fascist. Yeah. He doesn't have any ideology. Trump doesn't actually stand for anything, never has.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to step up that does, and that's scary.
Osama, hey, Rhonda Walker, J9 Campbell. Brett McKinney says, kind of odd that Graham and Jimmy are giving Jordan so much airtime. Well, we're going to talk about that too. So don't get ahead of us, guys. Let us finish.
We're going to get there. We're only
going to cover a couple of things tonight, and this is one of them. It's truly gold, and the link is in the rundown. So watch this. It's 29 minutes. It's one of the best interviews. Of course, Chris Hedges always interviews good because he asks decent, well thought out questions, not this bullshit that mainstream media points out. This is number.
So before you hit play, Jilly says that is it concerning that Glenn Greenwald only released 5% of the Snowden files. Now, I didn't know that it was only 5%. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
That means he held back 95% of the information.
Well, yeah. And oh, God. It's crazy news this weekend and today and tomorrow and the next day. So anyway, here's clip number 2.
I want to get into the issue of censorship. we have seen the left, in essence, embrace wholesale censorship by Silicon Valley, not just now with Parler, and now Biden is calling for a new terrorism law, and he was one of the primary architects of the Patriot Act. But even before the election, maybe we can begin there. That Twitter locks out the New York Post from its own account. Your article about the revelations found on the Hunter Biden laptop are not censored out of The Intercept, for which you resigned. You were one of the founders of The Intercept. But let's just start, before, during the campaign, and the left cheered all of this on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the big causes of the left during the 2020 election, it was one that I supported, was working to help Ed Markey, the longtime congressman, now senator from Massachusetts, defeat a primary challenge nominally from his right on the part of Congressman Joe Kennedy III. He became a hero of the left. And right after he won his primary and then general election, there was a hearing convened where they called Silicon Valley leaders, including Mark Zuckerberg, to testify before a committee on which Senator Markey sits. And he told Mark Zuckerberg, unlike my Republican colleagues who are complaining about censorship, we don't believe that the problem is that you're censoring too much. We believe the problem is you're not censoring enough.
Huh.
And then proceeded to show him a bunch of content on Facebook that Markey thinks is dangerous or extremist speech that he demanded be censored. Obama delivered a speech a couple of months before the election in which he says he believes the internet is the greatest threat to American democracy because of the role it's playing in disseminating misinformation. Yeah. So the Democratic Party, including its liberal wing and its left wing, are very much on board with the idea that we cannot have free speech in this age of whatever they want to call it, white supremacy, domestic terrorism, right-wing extremism, because it's simply too dangerous. And not only should the free speech be restricted by laws enacted by Congress, which presumably would have to mean amending the First Amendment, but until then, they're on their knees pleading with billionaires and oligarchs and monopolists in Silicon Valley to censor in the way that they believe is politically advantageous. And this was true, as you said, even before the election. I honestly think, Chris, that one of the most momentous moments of the last 5 or 6 years was when the New York Post started reporting on documents that to this day everyone acknowledges are completely authentic. And the intelligence community invented a lie that it was Russian disinformation, which immediately pressured or gave the pretext to Twitter and Facebook to ban reporting. If you wanted to go on Twitter and post a link to the New York Post reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop, which contained a lot of information about what Joe Biden was doing in Ukraine, what he was doing in China when he was the presidential frontrunner, you couldn't even post the link. They had banned it. Facebook algorithmically announced through a longtime Democratic Party operative who now works at Facebook that they were going to suppress the spread of that story. That was stunning intervention on the part of Silicon Valley in the ability to do journalism in the election on behalf of a candidate that Silicon Valley overwhelmingly was supporting. And since the Democrats won, every time the Democrats call on Apple or Google or Facebook or Twitter to censor, those companies comply because they're in bed together. There is an alliance between.
Wow.
Censor. So they have basically sicked the squad on censoring.
They have, yeah.
This is controlled opposition that isn't even opposed. They've just bought into it, right? Is that what you're getting?
I don't know if they're bought into it or if they were always into it. Sometimes I think, where did AOC really come from? Just convenient. Everything has worked out the way it has. But, we've been dealing with censorship on the far left since 2016, when they put the Russian narrative lie out there and we kept perpetuating it and pushing it and pushing it. So, then they started taking down our posts, subbing our groups, throttling us back, shadow banning us. How many times have we seen posts just frickin' disappear or, the content's not there or it's blocked? this isn't something new, I don't think, but it's definitely ramped up. And why has it ramped up? It's ramped up because they see an ally in Biden, because Biden is hand in hand with Silicon Valley, and Silicon Valley has pretty much taken control of all media. And that's the part people are missing. Like, oh, media is its own entity. It's the fourth state. No, the media and Silicon Valley have merged into one giant technocracy, and they're the ones controlling and you know, calling the shots. The public square is gone. This is modern day book burning to me.
Yeah, the media, the fourth estate is the lapdog for the oligarchs of the world. The fourth estate is gone. What you have, or at least the legacy fourth estate, what you have are independent journalists out there. And those of us who are trying to be analysts in a genuine way, to call out bullshit when we see them and don't chew on somebody's butt just because they're saying what you might want to hear. Question everything. And again, Greenwald nails it in that one as well. I mean, that the oligarchs and the military-industrial complex love Joe Biden because he's not a loose cannon like Humpty Dumpty is. You know, he's not going to give them shit. And I hope, and Shanda says it's not going to happen, and I tend to agree with her, that they, you know, he gives Julian Assange a pardon, you know, Snowden, the rest of them. But there's so many things an actual president, a real president who's working for the people could really do, no matter what these assholes say, if they are of the people and for the people. Because all these club members, Club Fed and the rest of them, they're working for the money interests, the military-industrial complex, fossil fuel, pharmaceuticals, that sort of thing.
Well, and now you're seeing a bleeding over of the independent media being snatched up by these guys, and they're doing it in very sly ways, you know, to where it doesn't look like they're hired working for the mainstream narrative, but they are.
They are. They
absolutely are.
Thus again,
The Intercept is a classic example of that. The Intercept has been such a fucking disappointment lately.
Yeah, well, when Greenwald left, and he left for those reasons. The Intercept is just a smoldering pile of shit. And, you know, as a company, as an ideology, as far as I'm concerned, and, you know.
But it's that way with all of them. I remember back when I used to trust The Guardian. You know, I haven't trusted The Guardian in years, but I used to, you know. It's just they're all falling off. Like
the first couple of years with the Huffington Post, I thought they were the cat's meow when Ariana was back there, and, you know, I should have even. But just thinking back, and that's where I started following Ryan Grimm, because he was actually kind of a journalist back then. So, you know, right now he's just a mouthpiece for The Intercept, which is co-opted.
Well, he's just an employee is the thing.
Right.
That's, you know, Richard Wolff dropped a great Democracy at Work this morning. He lays it out there. You're either an employee or you're an employer. There is no other. There is no in between. You know, you're either working for somebody or you're not. And nowadays, even doctors and, you know, high up, they're working for somebody because that's the way the system has been set up to feed off of everybody. So, you know, they're no different in media for sure.
No, they're not. They're just more lapdogs. This is clip 3, and I think you got ahead of it, but let's see here.
Donald Trump from social media platforms. I think even the shopping, was it the shopping network? I mean,
yeah, the shopping network, Shannon.
Why?
Give me a break.
Dangerous, a dangerous precedent.
I found it really interesting that numerous world leaders, including ones who have a famously acrimonious relationship with President Trump, stood up and very vehemently denounced Twitter's decision and Facebook's decision to ban President Trump from the platform that includes Chancellor Angela Merkel, who's a center-right politician with whom Trump has argued and bickered almost his entire presidency. It includes President Lopez Obrador in Mexico, who's a leftist president who very eloquently and vehemently warned that Silicon Valley is becoming essentially a world media leader, something greater than nation states, because and ministers high up in the Macron government in France, obviously, who also don't love Donald Trump, denounced it in similar terms. Why? Because they're extremely concerned that these private tech monopolies who they cannot battle. The EU has been trying to break up Google and break up Facebook for years, and they simply can't because they're too powerful, are also coming for their democracies. And they know that if Facebook and Twitter can block President Trump from accessing the internet, they know it can be done to them as well and to their countries as well. And the only people who aren't bothered by this, from what it seems to me to be, are U.S. liberals. And I think that the
U.S.
most
liberals,
disturbing
is that what you call
event
them?
yet, beyond, as we discussed earlier, Facebook and Twitter's unity in blocking the New York Post reporting, is the fact that Amazon, Apple, and Google, 3 of the 4 companies that a Democratic House subcommittee just 3 months ago declared to be dangerous monopolists and illegal antitrust anti-competitors
Yes.
in a really comprehensive report that they issued, united to remove from the internet a competitor to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram that had become the most popular app downloaded on the Apple Store, which is Parler, on the grounds that Parler played a role in inciting or agitating for the Capitol breach and the riot that occurred on January 6th, even though it was their own properties like Google's YouTube and Facebook that played a much, much bigger role. They simply destroyed a competing platform at the urging of people like Congressman Ro Khanna, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They issued demands for it on Twitter, and within 72 hours, Parler was gone from the internet. So it doesn't take much to understand why this is so dangerous, that our speech, our ability to organize on the internet and to be heard, is concentrated in the hands of a tiny number of Silicon Valley oligarchs who exist completely outside of the realm of democratic accountability, who operate with no transparency and with no limit.
You notice that he didn't say the American media was being called out by those foreign leaders. It was Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
So what is it? Three people basically
Yep.
are controlling all the media that we see for the most part in this country, and they're controlling it through deplatforming and taking away servers. And that's what I got out of that. Right.
That's exactly what's happening. You got Jack Dorsey, and you've got, Zuckerberg, and you've got Bezos, and you've got, there's a small handful. We know who they are that are controlling what's going out there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We've got one more clip coming up, but man, the chat's going wild. They're talking about the Convo show today. Fee and Pasta are on their radar. Little Convo Couch is in their crosshairs. Good, because Little Convo Couch, they're starting to look more and more like David and Goliath, or should I say Fee Pasta Johnny and Goliath. I mean, I got to really hand it to those guys. And anybody that wants to challenge old Oz on that, please, let's have the discussion. But I just, it's crazy. Let's finish this out so we can move along here.
To voices like yours, like Matt's. What do you see
Matt
happening
Taibbi.
to progressive critics who call out the Democratic Party for who they are?
I think absolutely they are very committed to the destruction of any outlets that permit independent voices of dissent.
Exactly.
Already, you could just pick up the New York Times this morning, and there's an article about how people who were using Parler, but now can no longer because it was removed from the internet by Amazon, Google, and Apple, are migrating to platforms like Telegram and Signal. And there was a New York Times article laying the groundwork for saying, look, Telegram and Signal are now the venues for this right-wing extremism that has become so dangerous. It's only a matter of time as Substack grows before these groups of journalists that NBC and the New York Times and CNN employ, whose only function is to demand censorship, start turning their guns on platforms like Substack or Patreon and saying, look at the extremism that they're hosting. Why aren't they removing this content that's extremist and radicalizing people and is so dangerous? They want to maintain a monopoly over the dissemination of information, and they're not. And the most shocking part of it is the people who are leading this crusade, this censorship crusade, are journalists, are the people who work at the large corporate media outlets. They're the biggest and most vocal cheerleaders for corporate censorship of anybody because they don't want any other voices competing with their own.
Job
You make a
security.
point in one of your columns about the raison d'etre for that. We're talking about publications like the New York Times. Is they claim that they're nonpartisan, and you kind of devastate this argument. But lay that out for us. The idea that these partisan outlets, whether the left or the right, are shut down and censored, and there is a direction. The people who seek news are directed to established media outlets like the New York Times, as if they are objective. But please explain that fallacy.
So, obviously there has been a lurking question for 15 years now or so with the advent of the internet, which is how is it that media outlets and newspapers can survive when there's so much free content online as a result of the
Check this out.
internet?
He nails
Where can they get their revenue from? It used to be that they could get it from advertisers, but advertisers now primarily go to Google and Facebook, and they collect 90 to 95% of what used to be media advertising money. People are unwilling increasingly to pay for content online, and so these media outlets were in serious trouble. And so the model that they adopted in order to become financially viable was to become a cause, to say, we're not just objective news disseminators, because you can get that anywhere. We're going to be devoted to a particular political cause, and because you agree with that cause so passionately, you're going to give us your money the way that you give your money to the ACLU or to some other group that you support. So the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, all these other outlets position themselves as anti-Trump outlets. And everything that they did became designed to appease and aggrandize essentially the Democratic Party, because that is who became their audience. The Democrats are now the audience of the white, affluent, managerial class. That's where you get subscription money from, because of this financial incentive to become essentially organs of or spokespeople for the Democratic Party. Obviously not the socialist movement within the Democratic Party, but the establishment neoliberal one.
And yet the argument is that they somehow aren't partisan. That's the argument that they make to justify diverting readers towards their content.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, because when I began writing about politics in 2005, one of my motives was I did think that this kind of pseudo-neutrality or pseudo-objectivity that the media had long adopted for themselves was destroying journalism. And the example that bothered me the most at the time was that the Bush administration began implementing a system of worldwide torture, and media outlets refused to call it torture on the grounds that, well, the Bush administration denies that it's torture.
Yeah, remember the win.
Groups and everyone else around the world says it is. Who are we to decide? We're just journalists. We tell you what one side says, we tell you what the other side says, and then we wash our hands of the question. And that was clearly a corrupting form of journalism, because it precludes the truth. And I always advocated for a more adversarial and honest form of journalism that's willing to call lies from government officials lies. In a sense, they've adopted that, but only in a very partisan sense. They're only willing to do that when it comes to Donald Trump, because that's all their readership wants to hear. You're going to see a radical shift in how the U.S. government is covered now that Biden and the Democrats are about to take over. I'll bet you can count on one hand the number of times CNN will have a crying on screen calling a press secretary statement or the president's or the vice president's statement a lie or false, because they're not doing journalism, they're doing activism on the part of the Democratic Party. That is the...
I wish he wouldn't even say the Democratic Party. How dare they even use that term democratic anymore?
I know, right?
It makes me sick. It's bullshit.
Total oxymoron.
They're just lapdogs, and Silicon Valley's just lapdogs for them, because they are connected with who? The military-industrial complex, fossil fuels, big pharma, insurance, medical insurance, all that shit.
Well, don't forget that we've been cracking down on these guys. It's the Dems that were screaming for there to be something done about Silicon Valley and how they were out of control. And now they're trying to kiss ass because with Biden coming in.
Yep. The shoe's on the other foot.
Oh, fuck. We don't want them tearing us apart and calling us a monopoly, so we better do whatever they want.
They know it's coming with the YouTubes and the different platforms, because we're not naive and stupid, at least those of us who are engaged, because that's why we're engaged.
Informed.
Yeah, we try and be informed on this stuff. We actually read and try and comprehend things. You know, we're not just a mindless mob storming the Capitol steps, but in all fairness to them, their programming was probably from multiple directions, right?
Oh, right. Did you see that video I sent you where the guy went undercover into the chaos, and they dressed up like oath keepers and they put Trump hats on, and they came out, they were truly petrified, terrified of the narrative that they saw from these people.
Yeah. You're not talking about John Sullivan. You're talking about those other people that were in there.
No, what was his name? I sent you a video this morning, but I mean, these kids were shaken. Like,
yeah, I would
how
be too.
can this be the narrative of the people in this country? And it's coming from all of these different media outlets.
Well,
you know?
yeah. Was that the one where they had the interview of the cop who was getting his head pinched in that door, who said, we didn't start shooting because they felt, and they're reporting a lot of guns were taken away. It's hard to believe anything anymore, but if they were to take the first shot, it would start a shooting war, and they felt they were outnumbered gun-wise.
Right.
Once again, that's more sauce for the goose, because they didn't prepare for this, and more is coming out that this was an inside job.
It was an inside job. Everybody can see it. The videos are plain to see that they're doing some kind of operational tactics in the crowd. You know, they came with the plan. There was people there with the freaking plan. And, you know, the whole Chewbacca guy, they just let that guy, he had a fucking tour guide. He had a cop walking him around in there, just showing him where everything was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Will, you know, and I said from the very beginning of this, you know, the squad was calling for any Republicans that were involved in, you know, bringing these people in or helping them plan. They need to be rooted out. And I agree, they should be, but I want to see evidence. I want to see hard proof, just like I always ask for evidence. Like I wanted to see evidence that Russia hacked our election. Like, you know, I always want to see the receipts.
Keep asking. You're not going to get it because it's controlled.
Exactly. It's controlled. It's controlled at the very, you know, top levels, and we know that.
It's controlled.
We know that. And now what do they got? They got 30,000 troops. They got 8-foot fences with razor wire up on it. They're running background checks on every single military person who's there. Like, okay, you guys just thought of this?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't think of that a week ago.
Well,
and they were hearing it was coming.
They knew it was coming. They were warned, and they had tour guides instead of actual, you know, protection in there. And so, again, it's twisting the narrative so many different ways. It's confusing people, particularly those poor people that still think that MSNBS and CNN are their friend.
Well, can I tell you, you know, I feel bad for the Trump people, actually. I really freaking do. They've been duped. They've been played. A QAnon, is it an FBI psyop, a CIA psyop? It's some kind of psyop. We've always known that. You know, it was plain to see in the very beginning. But a lot of them are starting to wake up to it. I had a diehard Trump supporter on my page for the last 4 years. 4 years. He was telling me Trump's going to arrest them all. He's going to drain the swamp, even up until the day of the Capitol chaos. And this morning he put a post up saying, okay, I'm done with Trump. I'm off the Trump train. You know, he's not going to arrest anybody. He didn't do anything he said he was going to do. So all of us that woke up after Obama, the hope and, you know, everything that was coming with Obama that we didn't get, that's what these Trumpers are going to be going through for the next couple of months.
Well, yeah, they're
waking up and realizing. And that's just even more people that understand that the government is broken, that it doesn't work, that you can't work it.
It's absolutely broken and corrupted. And Shanda, I mean, you get it. And now is the time when we should start reaching across and start talking about things instead of following, you know, these bullshit setup jobs. And when, you know, and I know when Shanda says she feels sorry for not for the people necessarily that were storming the Capitol steps, but for those thousands of people that were peacefully there protesting about an election they feel was rigged.
I've been on the ground and realized that I don't have any First Amendment rights. And it's a shocker. You know, I was on the ground in Philadelphia in 2016. 100,000 protesters on the fence of the DNC. That's when a lot of us realized they could jab your phone, they can go and take all your data, they can wipe all the videos away. CNN is not going to report it. Fox isn't going to report it. MSNBC isn't going to report it.
No.
You're pretty much just out here all by yourself screaming at the top of your lungs, hey guys, they just fucking stole everything, and nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And so I actually do know what they're feeling like, because I felt like it 4 years ago. And you know what? It's going to make a lot of people fight harder than what I think they were before.
Oh, I think it is too, especially in the climate of today, where we're, right. We're seeing more pandemic, issues, economic, potential wars. It's insane.
Well, and that's just it. They got to preoccupy us very soon. Know.
Thanks
sadly.
for, yeah. And I want to thank everybody for getting through that. Please, I know you guys want to get to the next topic.
You can see I didn't write the show today.
But watch this interview, because Glenn Greenwald and Hedges nail it. It's just, it's like, guys, we get it. And Glenn Greenwald is an excellent journalist. One of the few we have. Matt Taibbi, Chris Hedges, the rest of them. Yes. Now you put your friend in here. This is ShamWow.
Wow. It says, so you're giving up on voting. How do you plan on having a voice politically?
Yeah. How are you going to?
Yellow vest.
Yeah. ShamWow. ShamWow. But that's a yellow vest that he's got there, so that's good.
American yellow vest, man. We got to get off our butts, and we have to unite, and it has to come from the working class. It has to. We have to unite the working class, because a lot of these people in the streets, and the reason they're pissed, and the reason they supported Trump, and the same reasons we supported Bernie, is because people are starving, people are hurting, people are going like they're going without health care, and there's so much that is just bringing people out into the streets.
Well, at what point does what you're showing in the background there become promoting violence? Showing a yellow vest.
How is that violence? How is that promoting violence?
They're going to
promoting peaceful. You have the right to peaceful assembly, right? Unless the public square is private now and we're not allowed anywhere.
Yeah. I just don't know what's going on with that. I'm just crazy.
It has to be peaceful mass movements. It has to be.
It has to be peaceful mass movement. I clipped this today. This is from 0 Hour. Richard, is it Eskew? Yeah. But Ryan Grimm, like we said earlier, before we get into the minutiae of this, he's a great double talker. He's great. He speaks softly. He speaks smooth. He's got.
And he's got his little kids in the background making.
Oh
me feel
my
like
God!
He's just the all-American dad, babysitting and watching kids and trying to work for a living.
You better be careful. He's going to say you're attacking his children. Yeah. He takes things out of the context and makes them into, he's attacking he broke the cardinal rule of whatever. And once again,
so virtuous, virtue.
You stole the script out of my head, which isn't a script, but you, Shanda. Shanda. Hey, P Stuff, how you doing? How's Jackson feeling, P Stuff? This is perfect. I hope I captured this. Double speak.
Always.
You can certainly talk about how what appropriate moderation is, and what incitement to violence is, and restrict that. Look, free speech doesn't mean that absolutely anything goes. That's never been what it meant. But all of this is a smokescreen to avoid talking about the fact that Google, through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other big tech monopolies, their business model is to inflame people, and that's how they make their money. And so everybody kind of throwing their hands up and saying that this is such a complicated issue, it can start with the fact that they're making money by spreading lies. Now, doesn't mean we want them fact checking. Doesn't mean that we want big tech to be the ones that are out there fact checking. But what we also don't want them to do is to be actively profiting and promoting off of the spreading of lies, because what they have determined, their algorithms have, these are smart people, what their algorithms have determined is that the most flagrantly nonsensical lies are the things that traffic the most and the fastest. And so their algorithm therefore encourages that. So don't do that. Like like don't just it's as simple as that. You're always going to have problems beyond that, but you first have to deal with the most obvious one, and then you can sort through kind of the thornier issues of safety and speech, etc. But first, stop allowing these companies to make money by actively and energetically spreading lies.
All right, go ahead. You first. You first.
He is a male Emma Bigland.
Yeah, he is, Jilly.
Totally,
he is,
totally.
And he's about her age. The way he's talking right there.
Oh my God, such double talk. Oh, we have to stop certain speech. We can't let that happen. Oh, we can't stop certain.
Yet he does not say who is to be the arbiter of what's...
Oh, remember when they used to tell us to Snope that shit? Oh,
yeah, Snopes.
Everything was Snopes, and I just feel like if you fucking tell me to Snope something, I'm going to flip out on you because they are not freaking fact checkers. It's some dude and his stripper girlfriend in his basement with his cat. Knock it off. And for years, I got that shit from people.
Yeah, Snopes.
Snopes it. Here's a Snopes.
Snopes, yeah.
So, you know what? Who's the Facebook fact checker? We're going to find out it's some, dude in his mom's basement eating Hot Pockets.
It's going to be a contractor, just like a mercenary that comes in and just takes us all out with one fell swoop. I'm going to be gardening when the plugs get pulled. But I want, this guy, I hate to even go there, but again, the nuanced way he was talking about that, like he said, of course we need to do, of course we need, of course. But he offered nothing but just talking points that either, was given to him or he developed for specific interviews. And if you watch this guy at all, and I don't recommend it necessarily, but he's on Rising way too much like Rocha and some of those other ones. And I
talk to your girl Crystal about that.
I know, but again, I can only defend what I like about Crystal and be honest about what I don't like. And I do.
Well, the court of popular opinion needs to wipe out some of these guys. And that's, you unfollow, you quit watching their shit, you don't retweet, you just let them wither up and dry on the vein or on the vine. And that's what we need to do with a lot of these. Well,
and that's what's happening to some of them. I mean, I'm watching.
Rhoda's fighting for his life, it looks like.
Yeah, and again, I follow David. He's on the poster and he's got stuff, but he's trying to straddle that goddamn line. Take a side, fucker. Really, do it, Dave. You don't have to compromise your principles. And in many cases, and he'd say, "What the fuck do you know, Oz?" I say, "Well, I know a lot because I follow a lot and I read your stuff too, which is much more than many people do." Right. So again, you better listen to what they have to say before you go at them. And Dave had something up there, David, sorry, sir, the other day where he was using a broad brush and saying one thing and then, okay, cue the internet, bad David, this. I said, wait a minute. You're picking out an entity that is hosting people, actual people that may not agree with your point of view, and you're just painting us all with this bad brush. Because I like a lot of his stuff. He's right on. Some of his stuff, I think it seems naive, but I just wonder where it comes from. But just like this guy right here, you're painting a broad brush, which helps you double speak the issues. So our chat's smart. These guys, they're engaged. They want to be here. They don't want to watch cat videos or do movie reviews like I do.
Sometimes I bring cat videos.
I do too. Movie reviews. Yeah, we had a great one Saturday night. If you didn't see Beauty and the Boomer, here's a shameless plug. Watch the intro. It's great. Jilly sent us a great cat video. Matter of fact, I think it's the best one I've ever seen in my life. So
yeah, it was pretty good.
All right.
Okay.
Are we done with that?
We're done with that.
All right, here we go. Oh my God, look what Oz put up here. Yes, Shanda did not do this, Jordan. This was Oz. And I'm not slandering you. I'm just asking a question. Hypocrite of the week? Now, the chat's been losing their shit in there about Jordan. Jordan smears on Convo were beyond disgusting. Jordan was just on Rising, trolled him there too. Jordan calling Convo right-wing voters shows he can't tell a lefty and is punching sideways. I think he's punching down. What do you think, Shanda?
Yeah, he's punching down. It's disgusting. I have been a very avid supporter of Jordan's. I have been friends with him on Facebook for about 4 years now. I've supported you know, when he was at TYT and he was out in the field with Emma, I would send them money so they could go from, you know, Bernie Town to Bernie Town. And then I remember sending him money so he could get to Standing Rock. And then, you know, he had the big fallout with the scandal over at TYT. And honestly, I could see that one coming because at many events that I'd been at in the past with Jordan, he kind of had this young groupie like little harem that would always follow him around. Oh, Jordan, you know, like getting pictures with him. And yeah, his ego was just getting so stroked at many events that I saw him at, you know, for 2017, 18. And then, you know, he was crushed when he came out of the whole TYT thing. And yeah, I know a lot about that I would never say on air, but I know a lot of people that were there and, you know, in the background of that. But still, I supported Jordan because he had the balls to go out and say, you know, corner Donna Brazil, you know, say shit like that. You know, there was a couple other interviews where he put people right on the spot in 2016, you know, calling out the election rigging, calling it out. Bernie got robbed. Bernie got ripped off. We all know it, blah, blah, blah. So to fast forward to this and watch him punching down on Convo Couch, who has been out there on the fucking ground for months, for years before the election, looking at these machines, looking at these systems, understanding the auditing systems, understanding different ballots and how they work in different states, to have Jordan, who wasn't even in Washington, D.C., was he? I don't think he was. I think he was just sitting at his desk punching down at these guys. It's disgusting. He should have never done it. I'm so turned off by it. And Jordan forgets it's us diehards that have been in this movement for years and years and years that gave him money every time he begged for money, who tuned into him when he was rambling and being egotistical for 2 hours. You know, it was us. I'm done doing that. So just like I said with these other ones, let them dry up on the vine, guys.
Well, yeah, Jilly says passive, aggressive, unbalanced self-aggrandizement. And how come says that's true, Oz. I'm only familiar with a lot of these bad actors from other outlets. Unfortunately, I gave money to Status Quo when they started. I even sent him half of my bingo winnings.
Me too.
$50 once. Yeah, I'm sorry, how come? I would give you a refund if I was a wealthy man, but here's the thing. Look. I'm seeing a lot of narcissistic, histrionic, reactionary shit coming from Jordan. Because guess what? The Convo Couch, Hardlands Media, Jackson Hinkle, Franco Analysis, Slow News Day, Redneckonomics. You know what? They're starting to take some turf that Jordan doesn't want to give up. Because they are calling it like it is. Yep. And our sisters and brothers out there that are doing the goddamn work and have a mind that still uses critical thinking are willing to tell the truth because there's no gain in lying for these people. They're not out there to get a goddamn MSNBS contract.
That's just it. It's access. He's always access. He's always, I'm going to get into this rally or I'm going to get into this event. You know, that was a big thing during the campaigns, was his access.
Yeah. Yes. Jordan was great at Standing Rock. Yes. He was great. I
helped get him to Standing Rock. I remember sending him money.
He was great at Flint. But what for his greatness in these things, where did he fail? You know, thank you for your greatness, but where did you fail on these things? How far did you go? And the reason I'm thinking of Josh Fox when I asked this question, right. I mean, it's like
very similar. Oh my God, you just gave me deja vu. I didn't realize those two are so like each other, but they are, because I've seen Josh at events and he's the same way with the little groupie girls.
Yeah, it is. It's something about that. It connects them, and then you have the other side of that with Nomiki Konst.
Oh, she's right in there with them. That's the same little clique. It's almost a East Coast clique.
It's almost an East Coast clique. And Jimmy and Graham, I don't know who said it earlier. It was Brent or one buddy in the chat. He's been getting a lot of airtime, and they are polite. I mean, Graham and Jimmy's got the biggest platform, I think, on the side that's
out of everybody. Yeah,
on the side that I believe is the correct side, and I will stand by these guys.
Me too.
And Graham, he's moving right up there. He's working his ass off. Another one that was stabbed in the back by the Obama administration and Obama.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're trying to maintain the peace a little bit, but watching Jordan go on Jimmy's show today and basically walk back a lot of things he's said over the past week or so, particularly attacking the convo couch. And I think that if he would have started any of that shit on Jimmy's show, which I think is classless.
Right.
And, you know, when we do talk about other shows, we try and, you know, maintain some decorum. But when these other shows, like Jordan, does the shit like he did last week, that's basically, you're not just declaring war on the convo couch or their supporters as being naive.
Yeah, that was pretty shitty.
That was shitty. That was chicken shit.
Yeah.
That was.
And you know what? Those are the same viewers that tune into him, dumbass.
Yeah. I mean, how stupid can you be? It's like, go vote for Trump from Biden. Same kind of thing. So, you know, I think that he should be admonished appropriately through the net. Am I ever going to trust him again? Not until he does a full knee-bent mea culpa to everybody out there, especially Fee, Pasta, and Johnny, because from what I can tell, they've been really cool about it, and they haven't gone with the buzzsaw at him until I think today they did, and they still did it, I believe, in a pretty classy way. What do you think, Shanda?
It was a very classy way, you know. I don't get it. Is it Jordan wants more clicks, so he's trying to get a little rift going, so maybe he can get some of the convo people to click on his stuff? Yeah. I mean, I always question why somebody would even dip their toe in the water. There was no reason for it. I just don't get it. He didn't have to say they were inciting anything. Would they have better footage than he had? I don't, you know, I don't get what happened in Washington, D.C. I just know that I have trusted what Convo Couch has had to say to us about election integrity for many, many months leading up to this. This one just didn't happen last week or all summer. They were doing amazing reporting and going in. And as a trained vote observer who understands what's wrong, and especially in our little area, they got it right. They're getting it right. They're asking the right questions. And Jordan just wants to slough that off. Does he forget what they did to us? Oh, no, they're not going to, you know, they'll only do that during a primary, but not a general.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's trying to
say. You know, and he comes in and he's trying to set the terms. Don't tell me about a primary. Don't tell me about this. Don't tell me about that. Well, why not? That's part of the discussion, you dick. I mean, you don't just take off the pushback points that people have, that they're trying to show you what's going on. And Fee and Pasta made a big point today that I hope Jordan chokes on. These states are run by their Secretary of State. And California's Alex Padilla, and that asshole up here in Washington State who's crooked as the day is long. What was the guy's name? Slipped my mind, brain freeze. But he was the Secretary of State, and just in King County elections. Right. And then we want to talk about, let's talk about that general election, and that's what they were referring to. Let's talk about Brenda Snipes down in Florida too. You know, in their primary with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Tim.
Oh, yeah. And you know, it's like Pasta and I were talking on Saturday, Sunday morning, whatever. It's like a spider web. There's so many different ways that they connect up and rob it in every different district. It's not the same in every district. No. So you have to keep following, and it's not just a show me the proof. Oh, here's a crate full of extra ballots. That's not how these are rigged anymore. No,
it's a very complex system that some fucking think tank figured out many moons ago, and they've just been getting better at it.
No, they are getting really good at it.
Yeah,
they really are.
So yeah, gerrymandering. Okay. Let's talk about Diebold, ES&S. Let's talk about optical scanners for mail-in ballots. Let's talk about proprietary software. Let's talk about chain of custody. Let's talk about all these things. Do you guys
signature verification?
Signature verification. Why do we have it in Washington and they don't have it in another state? I mean, give me a goddamn break. The question of election integrity is ever present, and don't let anybody like Jordan Chariton say, "Show me the proof."
Question it. Yeah, bullshit. Question
that. You question everything, and we will question you, Jordan, just like we'll question Pasta and Fee. Except Pasta and Fee's not going to try and throw us over the board. They're not going to, say they should be deplatformed or taken off or considered liars or anything else. But I'm wondering about you. Are you going to do that, buddy? So again. I'm an old dog in this race. I've been watching this shit for 45 years. So don't come and preach to us, young man. We're going to pull that ageist shit on you a little bit. And that goes for you too, Emma Vigeland and Jamie
I gave up
Pike.
On Emma 4 years
Give
ago.
me a break. And poor Jamie Pike, she's working for, just like these reporters. They have a job. They got to keep their boss happy. Yeah. I would like to think that Jamie over at the Minority Resort would someday get away from that guy, Sam Sneeder.
Get out of his abusive relationship.
Yeah, it's abusive. I mean, he did it on air one time. I watched him. But see, this is the divide. It's not dividing us. These people are the ones that are dividing the left. Yeah. It's these fake actors who are working for access, who are working for a paycheck, and they're getting paid by the other side. Ryan Grimm. At the Intercept.
Ryan Graham, perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another example of that. Now, I'm willing to have a civil discussion, but Jordan's outburst last week and the shit that he's been throwing, along with Nomiki Konst, I ain't having it. We've picked our side, and it's the Convo Couch and all the rest of those folks that we have named in this, and there are still more. There's Richie Medhurst. Who else is there?
I love Richie.
Richie's on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a roll call, okay? And like it or not, we are going to feature those that we are inclined to be on board with. Not on every issue, possibly, but the majority of issues. And Jimmy Dore is going to be on that list. Except we're going to put him on the bottom. Right. So we got Fee and Pasta, the Convo Couch, and Richie and Franco and Jackson's up and coming, and so many others. Redneck Economic Stevie, our small guppies, they're going to be on this list. So if you have any suggestions that we can just credit him in our little Shark Tank here, let us know. Shanda, you want to finish this up?
You did a pretty good job. I hate hypocrites. It makes me sick to see Jordan do this after what this movement has done for him over the last 5 years. I mean, he wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for the people of this movement, and we all know it. And so don't reward it. I don't know if he's doing it to try to make a name, create bullshit just so people will click or listen or like, but don't feed into it. I'm not going to feed into it. I'm done feeding into it.
Yeah, I don't want to waste resources on battling these supposed lefties. And again,
I won't.
Flint, sure. That's great. Keep reporting, except get a little more in depth. You could do better. I know you can. But get off the bullshit. Quit attacking the people who are on the streets.
There's no need to punch down, and that was straight ass punching down. We all know where we stand in this game, and that was punching down.
Yeah, so let's start talking about how we heal these divisions. But there's one criteria. You better not be taking corporate money or spewing the corporate line. And some of our sisters and brothers in the other guppies in the fishbowl have been doing that recently, and we're not having it. So when you start dissing, there's no such thing as TDS, or you start promoting the MSNBS bullshit lines on your shows with no pushback, are you kidding me? Knock it off.
There's no such thing as TDS.
I mean, I get that.
Half my news feed is people with TDS.
Give me a break.
Everybody thinking that it's all going to be wonderful in about 24 hours or 36 hours, it's all over.
Yeah, when you talk about environmental, Osama, good point. Black Bear News. Kevin has been doing some political pieces lately. Black Bear News, fantastic. He's going on the list, Osama, absolutely. And Sandy at Environmental Coffee House. Sandy is focused on the environment and
we love Sandy.
We love Sandy. So but we want
report Whitney. We haven't seen
Whitney. Whitney. Absolutely. If there's any that you want to add to that list, let us know, and we will vet them. If we don't put them up there, and you ask us why, we'll tell you.
Let us know. I always have had people ask me this. When I was in the Dems 5 years ago, people were like, "What are you watching?" And I would always make lists. And oh my God, one time I put RT on the list. And, I like RT. That was especially 5 years ago. Oh my God, I got a subscription to the Washington Post sent to me by one of the Dems saying I need to quit watching that Russian bullshit and read real media. I was so livid. Like, how dare you send me a fucking subscription to the Washington Post?
Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah. make me sick.
Yeah.
But these lists, people do want to see these lists. So
Yeah, they
I'll
wanna
write
see.
down what I'm watching.
Yeah, they want to see, well, Shanda and Oz, you've either got your shit together, let us know who you're watching, or you're full of shit, let us know who you're watching so we won't watch them. So, take it either way. I'm all for
Oz's
it.
number one's what, Rising, guys?
No, it's not.
They could give me shit about Democracy Now! I bring a lot of Democracy Now! stuff.
Well, I'll tell you something about Rising, and I don't know why you're frozen there for a second.
Yes.
But the China stuff that Sagar's working for the man or the woman or the entity pushing this China crap, and I'm tired of pushing. I'd like to have a crack at Sagar in a separate forum. I would never, I'm nobody, but I think
we love Redacted Tonight. Lee Camp's amazing.
Lee Camp, yep, absolutely. Lee Camp, Graham, Ron Placone,
right.
yeah, Savage Joy.
I hate Savage Joy. I hear is going to start hanging out with us
on the Wednesday morning shows. I hope she does.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And Joy does a good job of maintaining neutrality on a lot of things. I mean, we all have our opinions and stuff, and I appreciate that about her. She's not
I do too.
She's not
it's kind of hard to walk the line.
It is. It is. And I know that she has good relationships and they're friends. Some of these people that have taken the other side of this. But she does a very good job of not locking herself into that. And, she can do that. Right. But we are going to take a side and we're going to be adamant about it, period. That's just who we are. So, again, what do we got up here behind us? Oh, I brought this. This is, guess what? AOC, Omar, and Twitter sued for $88 million for overbearing pain and suffering due to Trump ban. Now, this has a hair bit of merit considering I want to sue all the mass media networks for Russiagate for...
I do too. I've always wanted to sue for Russiagate.
I think $4 trillion, they could handle it.
Show me the proof.
Yeah, show me the proof. And they should be taken down for their Russiagate conspiracy theory.
Yeah, the Steele dossier, they lied about that to get into the FISA court, and nobody got in trouble for it. Just like, oh yeah, we lied.
Yeah, who paid for the Steele dossier, by the way?
We tapped his phones. We listened to everything.
Yeah.
We lied.
Yeah, Iran. Yeah, I know. Iran, too. This is, It's now Russia. Yeah, I saw one today where the Clinton machine's pushing the Russia crap again, as being they were the ones that instigated the Capitol riot.
But fear Russia, fear China, fear. They just want us scared and ready to pop off at any other country that they decide they want to go after the resources in.
Yeah. What is this? Is this something you?
This was a leftover from Beauty and the Boomer, but so we had paused on, so we didn't get to most of the clips that night. So this one was a funny one I had to bring over.
All right, let's check it out. Everybody needs to smile now. We're all like grimacing. Right. Rawr, we're mad. Jordan, piss off. All right.
Very shagadelic, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I never look so good. Thank you, Shanda.
Yeah, shagadelic.
Shagadelic. This program's called Face Off. A lot of you already are aware of this, but Shanda and I have been playing around with it, and we are hoping to integrate this in with our Relusion animation that we're going to hopefully start cutting commercials for not only our show, but other shows down the road to help the movement. Okay, so again, this is fun stuff, and yeah, I look good. The only problem, like I told Shannon the other day, they crop my goatee, so it's just this dirty, Don Johnson beard, 5 o'clock.
Well, I think it's the picture that I pick. I got to pick a better picture with a more prominent shot of your goatee, and it'll show up.
Well, we've got one for Saturday night. It's a real sexy one of Shanda. Shanda doing Amy Winehouse. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's terrible. My head's bigger than her whole body.
Oh my God, it's great. And Shanda's going to get stalkers when we prove that one out. So anyway, speaking of
no!
That's scary. Now, I know that everybody, well, most people that I talk to have seen the television series Grimm. And what this is, this is AOC, and she's voguing into Nancy Pelosi.
It's Pelosi.
It's Pelosi. So, Sorry.
She is assimilating.
Yeah,
so I find it just perfect.
She's playing ball. And again, the squad is attacking, utilizing the rhetoric of we need to censor, and take down platforms. Not a good thing.
Oh, yeah. No, they're sheepdogging big time.
Can't do it. Now, just so everybody can vomit a little bit tonight, I want to...
I wanted to give you guys some bad dreams.
Yeah,
so
here's
one more.
Yeah, here's the bad dream slide of the night, and if the studio stays up. Okay, here we go. Oh my!
No.
Oh God!
Try sleeping good tonight.
Oh, I think it would have been better to have Bill in there.
Oh my God!
I don't know. Well, I'm sure we're going to get yelled at for that one, but I really don't care. I mean,
yelled at by who? Hillary?
Yeah. Michelle, maybe. Maybe she's.
Michelle?
What are you doing?
Michael?
Oh, she's a witch. So yeah, I just all we needed in that one was have Joe Biden in the middle sniffing the kiss. So
yeah, right, sniffing him.
Yeah,
I might have to add him. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. It's not like we don't have any. We don't have enough to do. So
right, I don't have enough to do.
Yeah. Yeah, AOC learned a lot while Kennedy's intern. Apparently, I didn't know she was Kennedy's intern. Was she Kennedy's intern? Is that how?
Yeah, I knew that.
I should probably pay. Brent McKinney just threw up all over the chat.
Sorry, Brent.
Sorry, Brent. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to our friends over there on the Natural Progressive, Zox, Anthony Reyes, and we have Book Hermits over there. Hey, Book, what's going on? Let me see. I want to make sure I get everybody over there because. There's more people. There are a lot of people quiet over there.
Yeah, you guys are quiet over there. It's been kind of a low energy show, though. I'm tired. Yeah. It's Monday night. I'm just like,
Shah Yar, malted in Montreal. I like that. That's not David Dole, so don't worry.
I was just watching David Dole before we came on.
Yeah, I know. I've got to go clean my ears out.
He's pushing the whole, insurrection, fear.
Yeah, he needs to stop that. Again, I want to thank Brent McKinney, and we need to add these super chats to our Patreon list too, because it's all for us. So, yeah. Cirrus again. So, anyway, what do we got going on tomorrow? This show went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go.
I got a wipey on here.
You got a wipey?
Well, we started late. Remember we had.
Oh yeah, we had to wait for Joy to get out of the studio. Let's see. Joy had a good show tonight.
Joy had a really good show.
She interviewed Nick Cruz, BLM. Wipey Award. Oh, I love this Wipey Award.
Caitlin Johnstone. You want to read it?
Yep. The most imminent threat to U.S. democracy is not Russia, nor fascist insurrectionists, but the fact that U.S. democracy is entirely fictional. Yes, I think we just said that.
Entirely fictional, 100%.
Yeah, we've lost our democracy. We're trying to get what remnants of it back. And just an announcement here, we have a heads up.
There's no fee says.
There's no fee says, and I have that there because Shanda, tell them what Fee's going to do.
Fee has said that she was going to grace us with some personal Fee says. So, check the dive out. We're going to have Fee popping on to do some Fee says herself.
Yeah, we have Mondays and Fridays mostly open for Fee to join us. So she's going to give us some live Fee says. Yeah. We are looking forward to that. And I want to thank Pasta for jumping in Saturday night. And he really brought the fire Saturday night. And can you tell everybody that missed your interview and where to go see it with Pasta?
Oh, so we had an amazing weekend for Roar. So right out of the gate, Friday night, I did my first accidental activist by myself, and I talk about my addiction story. I'm proud of it. I think that it turned out well.
It was fantastic.
And then, so that's behind the premium wall over there at the Rockfin. So if you want to check it out, go to Rockfin, or you might be able to find it on the Accidental Activist. But then Saturday night, we had Pasta stop in for Beauty and the Boomer, which was amazing. Yeah, we had a really good chat with him about everything that's going on, censorship and, the election and everything that they're seeing. And then right after that cut, we filmed a segment for the morning called Pasta and Shanda Coffee Talk. And so we did like another hour, at least another hour show after Beauty and the Boomer. And they dropped it on Combo Couch Sunday morning. So you can find that over at the Combo Couch.
That was a great interview you and Pasta had. And they gave Roar and you especially a super great plug today. Oh,
I know. I was so like, it was just playing and Al was sitting in his chair and he heard it and he was like, wow, I can't believe how much they just talked you up. I'm like, oh, they're such sweethearts. I have so much fun talking with them. We have so much in common because being on the ground and seeing these things happen, you know, it makes me mad when I see people attack them. It really fucking does. So now I'm even more protective of them, you know, because they're out there doing the hard work to bring us the information. And that's what I respect because nobody else in this goddamn country is.
Yeah. And, you know, when they talk to somebody, they're talking to them sincerely, in earnest. Yep. And most of the folks that they do have interviews with, sometimes you get, you know, questionable ones, but they're not full of shit. I mean, come on, really, no. guys. You guys. I think all of you have bullshit detectors, and right? I see. There's Stevie. Speaking of having a great bullshit detector, Stevie, Redneckonomics. Check out Stevie.
Stevie's got a great bullshit detector.
Yeah. Then Stevie, you got something. Make sure you tell the chat. You got a show tomorrow night coming up. I think it's a great one. So, Shanda, peace, love. Shanda had me in tears. Your Han. I don't know. So, yeah.
Oh, I think.
Yeah, that was really, really nice. And again, thanks for all the Patreons. Please, like Pasta says, and Fee, get over there and Rockfin. Sign up for free. If you can save up a couple of super chats to get that $10 in, the $9.99 a month, and subscribe, because one of these days, I've got a feeling
we're just going to be gone.
We're going to be at Rockfin, and we will be involved in the Project X. What is that called?
Oh, Project X. So let me give you an update real fast on Project X. So Project X launched Saturday, but something happened with the live stream. I don't know if it got pulled down or if it was technical. You never do really know these things. So basically, a group came together called Project X, and they are launching what appears to be a platform called Panquake. And Panquake is a blockchain, and it's not feeding off your there's no algorithms, no gatekeepers, no shadow banning, you know, real tweets. They're going to do everything opposite of what we're seeing happening on all the other social media. And they've laid it out really nicely. And then they have the people that are endorsing it come out right behind how they explained what it is. And we have the likes of Bill Binney. Now, Bill Binney, come on, Bill Binney is the only man to take on the CIA, the FBI, and actually beat them back. He is the reason that I believe Russiagate is a crock, because he has a paper trail proof of here's the receipts to prove it was not a hack, it was a actual leak. So I love Bill Binney, and then Chris Hedges and Jimmy Dore and Lee Camp and who else? Graham Elwood. Julian Assange's mother. I mean, everybody who understands, who's been censored for years now, is getting behind this, because we need a platform that is not going to be controlled by, you know, the technocracies.
Yeah, and I encourage you in any way you can support this, because there will be others, but the amount of money needed to make things grow, you have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
And they're trying to do this. So support Rockfin, support Panquake. And
so it's panquake.com. So you go to panquake.com and you can donate as little as $5. Once you donate, I don't know if there was a problem with the donate button today. Somehow you get this like passcode for whatever's coming up next, and you'll have to write it down and remember it. That's your passphrase to get in. So, I mean, there is a little bit of air of excitement and, ooh, what's coming up?
Oh, yeah, hell. And you know what? As soon as they start hosting, we will be in there with our sisters and brothers. Absolutely. And one more news note before we have been putting out calls for people to help with production and content. We had, keep it up, because we had one individual over at Rockfin who's volunteered. We're going to be talking with, his name's Tom, and we're going to be talking to him this week, and he is eager to help. And Tom and I are the same age. So that's good. We're 59ers.
And boomers.
Yeah, we are boomers. So, you know, let's get all the demographics supporting, you know, us. us. If you want to help out any of your favorites, we highly support it. We won't be miffed at all. We encourage it, but we'd like you to help us at Rockfin by signing in for free at least. But then follow, our sisters and brothers over there, especially Convo Couch,
Definitely.
Jackson, Franco, all of them. I think Jen. Who's new over there? Somebody else.
There's very few over on the Rockfin that I don't follow. It's all free thinking media. I mean, Ryan Christian, he's amazing. I love Jamie Deluxe, even though these guys don't fall on our side of the party line.
Yeah.
They're free thinking and they do the work and they do the research. So.
And that's the thing is. It's not a party line anymore. It's an ideology that's for the 99%.
You're either an employee or an employer.
Yeah, and the employees that were unmasked during Force the Boat, sorry guys, you've been exposed. I think that's a pasta thing. So anyway, thank you anybody who wants to help us out in any way, shape, or form. And we're not going to be reaching out for money, but it's so nice when you can drop some change. And again, Brent, thank you. You've been a long-time supporter. We need to get you on that list. But these are tough times, and they're not getting any tougher. Shanda, before we go, do you think there's going to be big problems on Wednesday?
No.
I don't either. Maybe we're totally wrong.
We might see little flare-ups around the country, like...
Yeah,
in the South around capitals or something. But no, I'm not predicting a big, massive.
Yeah, not in D.C., huh?
Oh, hell no. You can't even get close to D.C. Did you see the guy? I sent you a video of it a couple days ago. It was a private contractor who was going into D.C. to work for some group that is doing security. And he forgot that he had his gun in the backseat of his car as he got up to the security gate. And then somehow he had a bogus pass or something. Anyways, they arrested this guy, charged him, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I swear to God, I didn't know it was in my truck. I wasn't trying to do anything. So
yeah,
I was like, here we go, the security state. And it's not going to let up. That's what I do predict, is that the security state in D.C. will not let up. And the old days of going to D.C. and protesting are over.
Yeah, they are. And once again, that's the mainstream media. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't know it was a contractor. I didn't know they'd resolved it. They've just been saying, oh, he had a gun and 5,000 rounds of ammunition.
The guy was seriously genuine. You watch the end of that video, he's just a good old boy who totally forgot his gun was in the back of his car. And I am done demonizing these people. They are my brothers and sisters. They are my fellow countrymen. And just because, you got to fear, I won't do it.
Yeah, I won't either. And I have forgot when I had my sidearm, too. Well, it wasn't a sidearm. But
exactly.
Yeah.
He said I was in a hurry. It was 4:00 in the morning. I had to get on the road. I forgot it was in the backseat.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional. But mainstream media blew it up like this guy was going in there with a plan.
Well, they're just looking for more sauce to heat everything up.
That's how sickening it is, that they are vultures just looking for anything.
Yeah, and that's what the mass media complex and the deep state establishment want. Anyway, what are we going out with tonight before I say anything else?
Helplessly hoping. This one goes out to all of our friends suffering from TDS.
Yeah. All you TDS sufferers, come into the light. Walk into the light.
It's helpless. You're gonna just keep hoping.
All right. Will we see you in the morning, Shanda?
You will see me in the morning, and will we see you in the morning?
I hope so. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for putting up with us tonight. Later. And come on. There we go.
Helplessly hoping her harlequin hovers nearby, awaiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit. He runs, wishing he could fly, only to tread at the sound of goodbye. Wordlessly watching, he waits by the window and wonders at the empty place inside. Hardly thoughtlessly helping himself to her bad dreams. He worries, did he hear a goodbye? Or even hello? They are one person, they are two alone, they are three together, they are for each other. Stand by the stairway, you see something certain to tell you confusion as its cost. Love isn't lying, it's loose in a lady who lingers, saying she is lost and choking on hello. They are one person, they are two alone, they are three together, they are four